Well, morning, afternoon. Good afternoon. No, good afternoon. How you guys doing today? Good. Great. Well, my name is Mr. Dennis. The name of the program is The Amazing Mysteries of Mathematics, because math is amazing and sometimes mysterious. And today, well, we're hoping it's going to be a little bit of both. Now, they told me there may be some 6th graders in the room. Are there any 6th graders here? Ah, 6th graders. I remember 6th grade. 6th grade was the 3 best years of my life. I was good at it. But they said I had trouble paying attention. So I've come up with an exercise to get everybody ready to pay attention. Adults, you might want to warm up with us. I need everyone to raise your right hand. And everybody makes a fist. We stick up our first finger, stick in our thumb, and make a circle. Take the circle and place it on your chin. And no, that's your cheek, and that's your cheek, and put your hands down. I said chin. And most of you went to the cheek. Paying attention is not just watching what I do. It's also listening. But now you know I'm tricky. So maybe you'll listen a little closer. You get to help the people next to you listen by not talking when I'm talking. And we'll help everyone see by staying seated. If we do those 2 things, we're going to have a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, I thought I would start the show by taking you on a trip back in time to one of the most fun days of my life. The first day of kindergarten. Who remembers the first day of kindergarten? On the first day of kindergarten, I learned my first number. It was the number 1, you remember. And I happen to have 1 rope. I had so much fun, I begged my mother to let me go back the next day. And she did. Seemed happy about it. The next day I learned my next number. That was the number 2. And my 1 rope has 2 ends. Well, I went back day after day. I learned 3, 4, 5. I learned to count. I learned to add, subtract, multiply, divide. I learned fractions. I learned division. I learned calculus and trigonometry. I learned to love math. But since I have this rope, I thought we'd do a little simple math with the rope. 1 rope, 2 ends. Young man, you look intelligent. What is 1, 2? Take away 2. What is 2 minus 2? 0. So we take away 1 end. We take away 2 ends, and I now have a rope with no ends. 1, 2, 1, 2. No, 2 take away 2 is still 2. Okay? You tell the teacher that Mr. Dennis said so. 2 ends. These are the ends of the rope. These being the ends, what part of the rope would that be? Yes. No, not the middle, the center. But that was so close. If I cut the center, I now have 1 rope, but it has 4 ends. It is a 4-ended rope. Ma'am, I'm sorry, will you watch? I'm going to start over, just for you, ma'am. I have a rope. You'll notice the rope has 2 ends. Very well, thank you. If I tie the ends together, tie the ends together, I now have 1 continuous loop, a rope with no ends. 1, 2, 2 ends. Young man, you helped me before, you're going to help me again. What is 1, 2? Take away 2. 0. He's staying with 0. He's a brave man. We take away 1. We take away doll scissors. 2. And we now have a rope with no ends. No beginning, no end. That would be infinity. That would be the number 8. That'd be Elton John. All right. One rope, two ends, two ends. This is the...
Center.
No, it's not the center, it's the middle, but you were close. We cut the middle, and we're right back to a four-ended rope. Or is it two ropes?
Two.
I don't know. Tie it back together, and we have the cut and restored rope. All right, I'm going to need a volunteer. Someone that uses soap. Okay, 2 hands went down. All right. Okay, the little man in the blue shirt. I can use the little guy for this. Come on up here, buddy. I'll save the older kids for some of the more advanced stuff. Your name is Ruben. Hello, Ruben. How are you doing?
Good.
How old are you, Ruben?
6.
6. Is that the oldest you've ever been?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ruben, I'm going to put a few more knots in this rope, and you're going to get to do some math. Does that sound like fun?
Yeah.
All right. Because math is fun, isn't it?
Yes.
And one more. Put 3 little knots in the rope. Count the fingers. Okay, that's good. Ruben,
Yeah.
I have 1, 2, 3 knots. If I take away 1, how many are left?
2.
So 3 minus 1 is 2. I'm going to have you blow on this knot. It should magically melt away and leave 2. When I count 3, you give a big blow right on the knot, okay? When I count 3. 1, 2, 3. On the knot this time, Ruben. 1, 2, 3. Ruben, 1, 2, take away 1. What's 1, 2 minus 1? 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. Let's find out. Big blow on the knot. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Ruben, this is the hard one. That one is on there. This one, you're going to need to blow really hard. But when this one melts away, you will hear thunderous applause. That applause will be for you, okay? So on the count of 3, you give a big blow. 1, 2, 3. There we... No, on the knot, Ruben. 1, 2, 3. All right, here, hold that end of the rope. Now, 1, 2, 3, you blow. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you need it closer? Here, hang on tight. We'll put it back up here. Let go of the rope. Ruben, why don't you take that home? We'll try it again next time. Give my partner a big round of applause. The amazing Ruben. Ruben, souvenir. Souvenir is a French word. It means to give away my garbage. All right. Well, we're going to do some measuring.
Yes.
And I'm going to need a special volunteer. Hold it. I need a specific type of head style. Young lady, would you please help me? You'll see in a moment why I chose you. Stand right there on the trap door.
What?
Now, don't tell me your name. I'm going to guess Destiny.
What?
Okay. Name tags help. Destiny, you know what this is? Tape measure. It's like a ruler. You ever used a ruler? All right. What grade are you in? 8th grade. Whoa, that's fun. All right. Destiny, you're going to do some simple. We're doing the simple stuff first, then we'll get the more advanced stuff for the 8th graders. But I needed you for a reason. This is an index card. Destiny, how long is the long side of the index card? 5 inches. And the short side? 3 inches. Very good. The other long side?
5.
And the other short side? 3. 5 inches, 5 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. How much is 5 plus 5? 10. 10 plus 3?
13.
And 13 plus 3?
16.
How many inches around the card?
16.
16. Remember that number, 16. 16 inches around the card. Now we're going to measure around your head. And you don't have any corners. Wrong tool. If you're going to measure, you have to use the right tool. If we were cooking, we'd use measuring cups and measuring spoons, might even use a scale. But we're not cooking yet. You know, I happen to have a tailor's tape or a seamstress tape. This will work. This is the right tool for this. I chose you because I want a nice big number. Look at all that hair. I love it. Whoa, that's like the biggest number I've gotten. Because I normally have a little bit smaller children. What's that number? 26 inches of head and hair, mostly hair. 26 inches head and hair. Destiny, which number is bigger? 16 or 26? 26 is bigger. Is it possible, Destiny, for me to cut a hole in this card big enough to put it over your head?
No.
Why?
Because it's too small.
Yeah, it's too small. 16 smaller than 26. Well, I'm going to attempt to make 16 bigger than 26. All right, here we go. Perfect. Now, Destiny, we got to remember two numbers. How many inches around the card? 16. And how many inches around the head and the hair? 26. And how old are you? 16. And how old will you be when you get married? 26. Very good. And how many inches around the card? 16. How many inches around the head and the hair? 26. And how many dogs and cats do you want? 16. And how many children? 26. Now, I'm just being silly. But you know what? Sometimes being silly can help you remember things for a test or whatever. When I was in second grade, my teacher taught us a little bitty ditty. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I have never forgot the year of Columbus's first voyage because of that silly little song. So you need to remember something. Sometimes being a little silly, sometimes making up a song or a poem or a story can help you remember. How many inches around the card, Destiny? How many inches around the head and the hair? See, it works. It's a great way to study for a test when there's something you really need to remember. In trigonometry, I learned that Oscar has a heap of apples. I don't know if anyone here knows what that means, but basically it's for remembering the formulas for sine, cosine, and tangent. In trigonometry, we still remembered silly things. So sometimes silly things can help you remember what you need to remember. You ever seen someone cut a hole this way? No. No. You think it's weird, Destiny? Yeah, okay. You think I'm weird? I take it that's probably a yes, but she's polite. I have now cut a hole to go over her head. Look at that. That is. Can you suck in your head a little bit?
What? Oh, I get it.
A souvenir necklace. We know what souvenir means. A souvenir necklace for Destiny. Thank you, Destiny. Now, if I had just cut a hole out of the center, that would not have gone over her head.
Nope.
What I did was I used all the paper. I used a type of math called topography. Topography deals with the plane or the surface. Rather than cutting away a lot, I rearranged the surface to make like a necklace to go over her head and all that hair. If you've ever seen anyone do balloon animals is topography. Balloon animals are math. They take a plane, they rearrange it, don't cut anything away. Now it looks like a dog. So we use math every day, and a lot of times we don't even know it. Oh, math. A little history lesson. kind of didn't want to come off. Real quick math lesson. Now, when did math start? People argue. Some people say it started in the Middle East with the Arab states. The Greeks like to say they started it. The Greeks like to say it started 2,500 years ago with Pythagoras. Pythagoras was a great mathematician. He actually was the first that we know of to start working with fractions, little numbers hidden between other numbers. Who's doing fractions in school? Who likes doing fractions in school? Okay. The division is hard, but fractions. Next time you're doing fractions, remember Pythagoras, 2,500 years ago. 1,000 years later, Galileo came along. Galileo was an astronomer. He studied the skies. He used math to chart the movement of the stars and the planets. He proved using math that the earth revolves around the sun. They used to think the sun revolved around the earth. Some of you might think the world revolves around you. But Galileo used math to show the earth revolves around the sun. If you want to be an astronomer or an astronaut, study your math. 1,000 years later, Sir Isaac Newton showed up. Sir Isaac Newton invented the world's worst haircut. He was also a great physicist, a scientist. He used math to explain the forces of nature and how things worked in nature. If you want to be a scientist, study your math. And then the last one is the one that kind of surprised me. Now, what surprised me is not that it's a lady, okay, because ladies, you can do as well in math and science as you apply yourself to do, just like boys can do as well in math and science as they apply themselves to do. Math and science are not just for boys or not just for girls. It's for all of us because we all use it. But Florence Nightingale, she lived at a time when girls matured, they got married and had families. And when all her friends were getting married and having families, Florence Nightingale actually begged her parents to let her go to the university and study math. Very unusual, but she did. She later became a nurse during the Crimean War, and after the Crimean War, she went to work with the government, and she used her math and nursing skills together to chart physical and social diseases. If you want to be a nurse, a doctor, a dentist, anything in the medical fields, you're using math. I'm sorry, if you want to be a plumber, an electrician, if you want to do anything, you pick that job, you will be using math. So, a short trip through history. Let's do something with kids, lots of kids. You really want to help, don't you? All right, get up here and stand there. You want to help? Stand there. All right. This young lady and the young man next to her. Yeah, you two. Oh, I'm sorry, George. I need new glasses. Get up here, George. I made a mistake. I apologize for that.
You're smashing to fix them. Like you putting the rope back together.
You just be cool. You just chill out. Who put him on the front row? You want to help me, young man? Oh, come on. If you help, I'll let your mom help. No? All right. Natalie, you're at my feet. Get up here, Natalie. Let's form a line. All right, you're going to stand right here. This lady has no name. What is your name, sweetie?
What?
Izzy. Okay, that camera got it. This is Shawnee, George, Ivan, and Natalie. I'm going to give you each of a card. You hold the card for everyone can see it. Hold this for everyone can see the card. Hold that for everyone can see the card. For everyone can see the card. Ivan, in line. There you go, handsome. Hold this so they can see the numbers. And Natalie. Now I'm going to need one more person. And ma'am, you just look like the perfect volunteer for this. You are a parent?
I am.
Which student is yours?
That's me, a miracle.
Wow. Mm-hmm. She is a miracle.
Just don't ask me math questions.
Oh, I'm going to ask you something really simple. All I want you to do is think of a number between 1 and 15. But don't tell me what the number is yet. A number between 1 and 15. Yes or no, do you have one?
Yes.
Yes. Looking at this card, Anita, do you see your number anywhere?
Yes.
Yes. Looking at this card, yes or no, do you see your number?
No.
No. Looking at this card, yes or no, do you see your number?
No.
No. Looking at this card, do you see your number?
Yes.
And looking at this card, yes or no, do you see your number?
Yes.
Yes or no, is your number 9?
Yes, it is.
Yes. All right. We're going to do this one more time. This time we're going to do it backwards. I will think of a number, and every one of you gets to read my mind. That means I have to tell you how it works. This trick uses binary math. Okay? Binary math is the same math they use to write computer programs. If you want to be a computer programmer or write computer games, you're going to have to learn binary math. Now, I know how binary math works, but for this trick, you don't actually need to. All I need to know is the middle number on each card. A 1, a 2, a 4, a 5, and a 6. Your number was here, that's 6. Your number was here, 2. Your number was here, a 1 in the middle. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 6 is 9. Ta-da. I will now think of a number. I will tell you which cards it is on. When you think you know the number, you may raise your hand, but do not yell it out. If you yell it out, you ruin it for everyone, and that is just mean. So when you think you know the answer, raise your hand. My number is on the first card. Hold it high. It's not here, but it's on the middle card. Hold it high. It's on the last card. Hold it high. I see a few hands. A couple of the adults even got it. All right. If you know the answer, yell it out together. 11. 1 plus 4 plus 6 is 11. If you said 11, you get the applause, and you get to sit down. And because I have so few kids, I may see you again. Thank you. Thank you. Good job, Ivan. 11. Just a fun little math game. Does anyone know what this is?
A calculator.
A calculator.
You're a magician. You should.
These first came out when I was in about 9th or 10th grade. This was like the cell phone when it's like everyone wanted one. And by the time I got to calculus, they had scientific calculators. We could actually use those. I was in math class. Calculator. I need 2 volunteers that know how to use a calculator. Owen, you good at calculators? All right, go ahead and stand right here on the trap door. If you want, you can play with the calculator a little bit. And Mira, are you good with a calculator? What? You have one? Okay. Come on, my little girl's using one on my phone now. Mira, play with it a little bit, get used to it, because we're going to do something amazing. Because Mr. Dennis likes to tell people that he is faster than a calculator. Actually, I didn't use a calculator for adding in that when I was in school because I felt I could do it better in my mind. But I use it for the scientific functions. But I need a volunteer. Ma'am, come on up. Because you have a very important job. And what is your name today?
I'm Mrs. Kang.
Mrs.
Kang.
Kane.
Yeah.
Your parent, work at the school? What's your
Teacher.
Teacher. Ooh, good.
Yeah.
Math?
Yeah.
Well, then this is easy. Okay, you see how these 9 numbers are squared?
Yeah.
You see how these 9 are squared? Mm-hmm. Okay. That Cap doesn't want to stay on. You can go to any page in the calendar, any page you want. It doesn't matter. And I want you to, now 2 of these are done this page. So, but I want you to box in 9 numbers.
Okay.
Like this. Don't use any of the blank spaces, or the has to be 9 digits, has to be 9 numbers, okay? Mark those in on any page in the calendar,
Okay.
And then write those 9 numbers here as they appear in the square. So you'd write like 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 23, 28, 29, 30.
Okay.
I'm going to look away. They are going to look away. Once you have 9 numbers boxed and written down the same way, okay, no blank spaces, 9 digits, you will say go. I will turn around, they will turn around, they will add up those numbers on the calculator, I will add them in my mind, and we will see who is faster, Mr. Dennis or modern technology. If you have a phone and you want to play along, adults, feel free, turn around. We got to wait for her to say go. No cheating. I'm going to beat you, buddy. I'm going to beat you, Owen. I'm going to beat you, Owen. You're going down, dude. You're going down. I'll be gentle, young lady. But I'm going to beat you. Mr. Dennis, yeah.
Mr. Dennis is gonna win.
Say go when you have the 9 on the board.
Okay, ready, go.
99. 99. Add them up. Am I right? Anyone using their phone to test me?
I think you're cheating.
Pardon? I'm right. I'm right. Woo! And the applause is deafening. I know it was deafening because I didn't hear it. 99. Faster than a calculator. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. You were wonderful. Now, if you want to impress people that are not here today, you do exactly what I did. You find your volunteer, you give them the very exact instructions. And when you turn around and you look at these numbers, you multiply the middle number by 9, and you got the answer. Because you have 9 digits. This is 11. This is 7 less than 11. That's 7 more than 11. That's 1 less. That's 1 more. That's 1 less and 7 less. So the average, these numbers always average to the middle. So you multiply the middle number times 9. People think, wow, he is amazing. Do you talk the TV set? All right, Shawnee. You've got to go home and do that for someone that wasn't here today, okay? The people at my bank always wonder why I want half a dozen calendars. 3 are for Christmas presents. No. We mentioned Pythagoras, famous for fractions. Pythagoras, famous for fractions. I'm ripping it into halves. 1 half, 2 halves. It's amazing. Rip it again. I have 4. 1/4, 3/4. I have fourths. If I do it again, what will I have? No, not 6. 8. Eighths. I have 8s. It's doubling. It's 4th or 5th grade math, depending on the school. 8. This time I'll have 16 sixteenths. This time I'll have 32. Look at that, you're doing math. If I do it again, 64 64ths. Now, here's the question. If I have 64 64ths, and I do have 64 64ths, what do I have? 1. I have won.
How did you do that?
How did I do it? I did it very well. It is time for the rabbit game. The rabbit game, which means I will need 6 rabbits. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. That's 3 ladies. Let's get 3 gentlemen. Sir, you may come up, sir. Get up here. George, my gentleman friend, get up here. 3 ladies, 2 gentlemen, 1 more gentleman. You want to help again, Jackson?
What?
Get up here. Oh, you haven't been up front, have you?
Yeah, no.
No, because you're still trying to figure out how 2 minus 2 is still 2. All right. 6 rabbits, and I need a volunteer. Okay, I see a young lady. She's having trouble raising her hand. It's going like this instead of like this. But in the blue, it's interesting. When she raises her hand, she does this. Stand over by the marker board. Please stand by the marker board. And you slide over a little bit. Stand right there. He won't bite you, I hope. Stand right there. Right there. Beep, beep. Beautiful. And I forgot your name. Your name today is?
Mrs. Miller.
Mrs. Miller. Mrs. Miller, we're going to play the rabbit game. You are going to have a chance to win an all-expense paid trip to the Bahamas at your own expense.
I'll take it.
All right. We are going to create a random number. A random number is a number that you do not control. Like rolling a pair of dice in a board game, you do not know what number will come up. It's random. I will be taking 3 digits from 3 students. We will write these 3 digits down and then reverse them. We will subtract the smaller number from the larger. We will take that difference and we will reverse it, and then we will add, and that will give us a random number. I'll help you remember the formula. And that random number should be on the back of one of the rabbits. Each rabbit has a different number. It should be on the back of one of the rabbits. You need to hold the rabbit. Uh-oh, boy, girl. You do need a switch. You two need a switch. Let's see, boy, you're still not a boy. You, switch with Hamna. Your name is? Eric. Switch with Hamna. Excellent, you get down there. Boy, girl. George, switch with Aista. Boy, girl. Jackson. Get between these 2 lovely ladies. Best day of your life. Boy, girl, perfect. I will give you a rabbit. When I give you the rabbit, hold it to your chest. Do not look at the number on the back. Do not let them see the numbers on the back. And most importantly, do not let Miss Miller see the number on the back. You are a boy, you get a boy rabbit. You are a lady, you get a lady rabbit. Hold it to your chest. No, don't show the number. You're a young man, you may hold the young man rabbit. You're a girl, that's a possum. This is not the possum game. All right, you're a young man, you get the young man rabbit. You're a lady, you get the lady rabbit. Everyone has a rabbit. Where's your rabbit? Here, hold the possum.
Okay.
I'm going to take 3 digits from 3 students. I need a digit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. 9. And Izzy. What? 6. 3, 9, 6. I said we'd reverse it. We'll make it 6, 9, 3, and subtract the smaller from the larger. That's why I need a math teacher. Each school is now doing subtraction different, so I don't do it. Okay, that is wrong.
Oh, wait.
That could not be more wrong.
Oh, I have to borrow.
You don't have to borrow. Some groups now call it regrouping.
Whatever.
I know. That's why I don't do it, because other schools do it. No, you still got it wrong. That is so wrong. Ma'am, that is wrong. You borrowed one from here. That makes that an 8.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. When you're up front, it's hard.
297?
Yes. I said we'd reverse it. So make 297, 792.
Underneath it?
Yep. Because this time we're going to add those two together. And this will be our random number. Remember, you gave me the digits. I didn't pick the digits. She's doing the math. You got 1,089. 1,089 is our random number. 1,089. Give me a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. No, give me a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 5. 5. F. I. V. E. This is your... Okay, pick the possum. All right, you don't win. You don't win. Okay?
Picked a person also as a
She picked the possum. Now, you didn't pick the first one, because turn that around. He already showed you that was not 1,089. You may have a seat. So you knew not to pick number 1. You didn't pick the second one. Show them the number. It was not the second one. You were smart to eliminate that one. You didn't pick the middle one. Most people go for the middle. But it was not the middle one. You may have a seat. Now, you said 5. If I'd have counted to 5, instead of spelling, I'd have got this one. But I know it's never number 5. Show them. So I didn't do, I thought I was helping you. I didn't realize you were going to pick a possum. You should have picked the last one. It's always the last place you look. Show them 1,089.
What?
Okay. Get out of here.
It's a possum.
You messed me up,
She
girl.
made that true.
Wait a minute. It's not on the possum. It is on the possum. 1,089. Ma'am, you are a winner. Send us a postcard when you take your vacation. Give my volunteers a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Hannah. 1,089. It's always 1,089. It's always the possum. And they always pick the possum. But that is a very special number. 1,089. If when you go home, you Google or Bing, okay, or ask Jeeves about 1,089 and the word magic or trick, you will find not only how to do this trick, but you'll find so many other cool things this number does. There are so many great, nifty, amazing things this number does. That's actually my favorite number. It's actually my PIN number. Oh, crap. Okay, it used to be my PIN number. 1,089, it's a great number. But check that out. See what else you can do with that number. I love that number. We are going to finish with a story. This is the story of the king, the princess, and the jester. Now, the king was very rich. He was the king, the richest man in the land. He was very powerful. He was the king. He was very smart. If you were to ask him, he would tell you he was smarter than anybody. He would. And he had a daughter, the princess. Now, there came that point in time where the princess decided she was ready to get married. Now, the king, like most fathers, did not want his little princess to marry just anybody. So he decided there would be a contest. If you wanted to marry the princess, you would have to fool the king 3 times. But if you could do it, if you could fool the king 3 times, not only could you marry the princess, you would win 1 million gold coins. Men came from everywhere. The knights, the dukes, the earls, the Duke of Earl, they all came. And no one could fool the king. He really was that smart. It did not look like the king's daughter would ever get married. It got to the point there was only one man left to try. That was the jester. Now, jesters are silly people. They make us laugh. We don't think jesters are very smart. I am not a jester. But I do play one in the story. And the jester came and he said, King, I am going to fool you 3 times and marry your daughter. And the king said, right. And the jester said, King, I do not want 1 million gold coins. I would rather have. And the king said, you stop right there, jester. I'm the king. I pick the prizes. But jester, if you fool me 3 times, you can tell me the prize you want, and then I will decide if you get that prize or the 1 million gold coins. The jester said, you're on. And he brought out one of these. And I just happened to have one. And the jester said, King, you will notice if I pull on the blue pom-pom, the yellow pom-pom goes up. The king says, so I see. The jester said, King, if I put down the blue pom-pom, the yellow pom-pom goes back down. The king said, so I see. Jester said, King, what happens when I pull on the white pom-pom? And the jester said, King, what happens when I pull on the white pom-pom? And the king says, well, the red one goes up, but just a little bit. And the jester said, King, I have fooled you once, for the white one makes the yellow one go up. He says, King, what happens when I put down the white pom-pom? The king says, the yellow one goes back down. Jester said, King, I have fooled you twice, for the white one makes the red one go up and down. And yet the blue one can make the red one go up, but then the yellow one will go down. Even the red one can make the yellow one go up, and the yellow makes the red go up, and the white makes the yellow, and the red goes down, and the blue goes up, and the yellow goes down. And the king says, that is so tricky, jester, but you will never fool me the 3rd time. I know how it works. How many of you figured out how it works? The king said there's strings in the middle. How many of you figured that out? Me. Yeah, none of the adults. And the jester said, King, I have fooled you 3 times. There are no strings in the middle. The jester can now marry the princess. But what about his prize? He said he didn't want 1 million coins. The king says, what is it you want, jester? And the jester brought out his checkerboard. And the king said, you want to play checkers? And the jester said, no, king. Instead of 1 million gold coins, I would like 1 gold coin. And put it on the first square of the checkerboard. But king, tomorrow, double it and put 2 gold coins on the next square. And the next day, double it and put 4 gold coins. King, I want you to do this for 64 days. Each day, putting twice as many coins on the board as the day before. And the king did some math. So that'd be 1 coin, 2, 4, 8, 16. Well, at the end of 1 week, it's 128 gold coins. Is 128 more than 1 million? No. But the king thought, I'd better do some more math. You double 128, you get 256. Times 2 is 512. Times 2 is 1,024. Times 2 is 2,048. Well, if you do that for 14 days, just 2 weeks, you have 32,768 gold coins. And the king thought, that's nowhere near 1 million. He said, Chester, you'll have your prize. Sorry, daughter. The king should have did more math. When you go home today, get out your checkerboard. If you do not have a checkerboard, use a chessboard. What you want to do is put 1 penny on the first square. And then tomorrow, put 2 pennies on the next square. And the next day, 4 pennies. At the end of 3 weeks, it's 8,388,608 gold coins or pennies. Is 8 million more than 1 million? Yes. But the jester didn't ask for 3 weeks. He asked for 64 days. I want you to go home. You may need to borrow a few pennies from your parents. You do this for 64 days, and you will have 2 sextillion, 361 quintillion, 183 quadrillion, 241 trillion, 434 billion, 822 million, 606,848 pennies or gold coins. The jester did not fool the king 3 times. He fooled him 4 times. The 4th time using math. If you want to be rich, do your math work. But if you want to be successful in anything, If you want to be a starving artist, you're going to be using math. You'll need math to be successful. Whatever you choose to do with your life, you will be using math. It's fun. If you go to the library, you're going to find books with math games, math puzzles, and math tricks. If you don't like math, go to the library. Get the games and the math puzzles and the math tricks. Start playing. As you're playing, you'll get better and you're having fun. And you'll learn to love math. If you do love math, go to the library. Get the books with the math games, the math puzzles, the math tricks. It's a lot of fun. Did you guys have fun today? Well, you are without a doubt the very best audience I have had this afternoon. So give yourselves a big round of applause. And everyone says goodbye, Mr. Dennis. And if you want some other fun math and magic tricks, and science tricks, you can always go to magicscientist.com with your parents. At magicscientist.com, I have a lot of free materials, some fun stuff, and some teachers' resources. You guys are great. Thank you.